Dear viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Pharma 15. Today we are going to see MCQs based on compartment modeling. Lot of students have fear in their mind that compartment modeling is a difficult topic from biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics. This presentation is brought to you by YouTube channel Pharma 15. Let's see the various MCQs for compartment modeling. What does the word open means in the one compartment open model? The options are: the drug enters easily, the drug readily mixes with the blood, unidirectional input and output, easy absorption, and the right answer is answer C, that is unidirectional input and output. Now the term open indicates that the input, it means the availability, and the output, that is elimination, are unidirectional and that the drug can be eliminated from the body. With the help of this diagram, you can see the word open in one compartment open model means it indicates that the input, now here if you can see the input, that is the availability, means the absorption, okay, and output, that is elimination over here. Moving towards next question: how much time does an intravenously administered drug takes to complete a complete circulation? 1 minute, 1 to 3 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes, and the right answer is 1 to 3 minutes. So this question is asked on one compartment open model IV bolus. So in one compartment open model IV bolus administration, whenever a drug that rapidly distribute in the body, it is given in the form of a rapid IV injection. So this injection is called as IV bolus or slug. So it takes about 1 to 3 minutes for complete circulation, and therefore the rate of absorption is negligible in the calculation. So it takes 1 to 3 minutes. So one compartment open model IV bolus is also known by another name, that is slug. Now in the equation log C, which is equal to log C0 minus KET divided by 2.303, what does CO stands for? The options are: plasma drug concentration after 60 minutes of IV injection, plasma drug concentration after 15 minutes of injection, plasma drug concentration after 30 minutes of IV injection, or plasma drug concentration immediately after IV injection. And the right answer is option D. Now you can see here in the formula that C0. Now what does C0 means? C0 is the plasma drug concentration immediately after giving of IV injection. The IV bolus dose is 500 mg and the plasma drug concentration is 0.8 mg per ml. What should be the volume of distribution? So just for your reference purpose, I have given the formula for this, that is Vd is equal to x0 divided by C0, which means IV bolus dose divided by C0. So in this, directly you have to divide the IV bolus dose by the plasma drug concentration. So the option given are 625 mg per ml, 625 liters, 0.625 liter, or 0.0016 ml per ml, and the right answer is option C, that is 0.625 liters. Now remember one thing very clear over here: the unit for volume of distribution is always in liters. So VD is a measure of the extent of distribution of drug, and it is always expressed in liters. So such a type of questions are asked in GPAT as well as in IPER also. So the just you have to keep in your mind, even though these values will come in ml, you have to convert into liter later on. So we have a formula, that is VD is equal to x0 divided by C0, which is IV bolus dose divided by C0. What is the equation to find out the apparent volume of distribution? The options are amount of drug in the body divided by plasma drug concentration, plasma drug concentration divided by amount of drug in the body, 1 divided by plasma drug concentration, 1 divided by amount of drug in the body. And the right answer is option A. So this is the formula by which you can calculate the VD, that is VD is equal to amount of drug in the body divided by plasma drug concentration. So option A is the right answer, that is amount of drug in the body is denoted by capital X divided by plasma drug concentration, which is denoted by capital C. So please keep this formula into your mind, that is VD is equal to X divided by C, which is nothing but amount of drug in the body divided by plasma drug concentration. Now Ke is an additive property of a rate constant for each of these processes, and it is better called as. Options are overall elimination rate constant, overall absorption rate constant, both, or none. The right answer is option A. Ke is also called as overall elimination rate constant. Now the elimination or the removal of the drug from the body is the sum of the urinary excretion, metabolism, biliary excretion, pulmonary excretion, and other mechanisms involved therein. Thus Ke is an additive property of a rate constant for each of these processes, and it is better called as overall elimination rate constant. And you have a equation by which you can calculate this Ke, that is elimination rate constant or overall elimination rate constant, which is equal to Ke. It means it is urinary excretion. Km, M stands for your metabolism, is from liver. Kb, it stands for your biliary excretion. Kl, it stands for pulmonary excretion. This El means it is lungs, and other mechanisms involved therein. Now elimination half-life is also called as dash half-life. Options are intrinsic half-life, biological half-life, microbiological half-life, none of the above. And the right answer is option B, that is elimination half-life is also called as biological half-life, or it is also called as T-half. So elimination half-life is also known by another name, that is biological half-life, and it is defined as the time taken for the amount of drug in the body as well as plasma drug concentration to decline by 1/2 or 50% of its initial concentration. Means the overall time required for the drug in the body or in the plasma concentration to decline to its 1/2 or 50% of its initial concentration is called as elimination half-life, biological half-life, or T-half. And it is expressed in hours or minutes. The parameters which are closely related with the physiological mechanism in the body are called as dash parameters. Now this question is very important because many of them don't know what do you mean by primary parameters and what do you mean by secondary parameters. So based on that, I have simply formulated this question. So whether it is called as primary parameters, secondary parameters, both or none, and the option is option A, that is primary parameters. Now, parameters which are closely related with the physiological mechanisms in the body, they are called as primary parameters. And these are the two important parameters which are which are which are also independent pharmacokinetic parameters, which includes Vd, that is apparent volume of distribution, and Cl, that is clearance. Now, both these parameters, that is Vd and clearance, are the parameters which are closely related with the physiological mechanism in the body. Hence, they are called as primary parameters. So, make it very clear into your mind that the primary parameters are Vd and clearance. Next question, dash is the secondary parameter that depends upon the primary parameter such as clearance and Vd, that is volume of distribution. Options are plasma drug concentration, biological half-life, Ke, and the right answer is option B. By mistakenly I have written here A, so the right answer is biological half-life. So the option B is right over here. So you can see over here that plasma half-life or biological half-life is a secondary parameter which depends upon the primary parameter such as clearance and apparent volume of distribution. So as per this equation, that is T half is equal to 0.693 multiplied by Vd, whole thing divided by total clearance. Now, clearance of an individual organ at an individual organ level is called as dash clearance, whether it is called as renal, hepatic, blood, or organ. And the right answer is option D, that is the clearance at individual organ level is called as organ clearance. So clearance at individual organ level is also called as organ clearance. Now it can be estimated by dividing the rate of elimination by each organ with the concentration of the drug presented to it. You can see the equations which I have given over here for the individual organ clearance. For example, if you want to calculate the renal clearance, so renal clearance is given by rate of elimination by kidney divided by plasma drug concentration. In the same way, for hepatic clearance, it is rate of elimination by liver divided by plasma drug, that is the concentration which is present into the organ. And then in the same way, for other organ clearance, the rate of elimination by other organs with the concentration of drug presented to it. So remember this formula, that is whenever you want to calculate the individual organ clearance, it is calculated by rate of elimination of that individual organ divided by the concentration of drug presented to it. Now coming to next question, the total body clearance, that is CLT, it is also called as elimination, clearance, total systemic clearance, none of the above. And the right answer is it is also called as total systemic clearance. Now this total systemic clearance, that is CLT, is an additive properties of all individual organs. Now from this equation you will come to know that total systemic clearance, that is CLT, is an additive property. So here we do go on do additions of all the organs which are responsible for clearance. For example, if you see this, CLT is equal to CLR, that is renal clearance, plus CLH, that is hepatic clearance, then we can say our liver clearance, and then we have the other organs which are involved in the clearance, such as we have bowels, or we can have lungs, Now coming to next question, clearance by all organs other than kidney is sometimes known as dash clearance. Hepatic, renal, blood or non-renal. So the clearance which is not done by kidney, it is also known by another name, that is non-clearance. So clearance by all organs other than kidney is sometimes known as NR. So the short form is NR clearance, or we can say clearance NR, and they are called as non-renal clearance. So the clearance other than that of kidney is known as non-renal clearance. Now it is the difference between the total clearance and renal clearance. So if you want to calculate the non-renal clearance, you have to take a difference between the total clearance, that is CLT, minus CLR. Moving towards the next question, rate of elimination is also called as rate of absorption, rate of extraction, both, none of the above. And the right answer is, again here mistake is there, the right answer is option B, that is rate of extraction. That is rate of elimination is also called by another name, that is rate of extraction, which is equal to QC in minus QC out, which is given by, when you simplify this equation, that is Q is taken as common, that is Q multiplied by C in minus C out. Now question number 14, drugs like several antibiotics such as theophylline, procainamide are administered at a dash state by IV infusion. Now this question is related to one compartment open model IV infusion. So the option given are high, constant, and the right answer is option B, that is constant. So the drugs, for example several antibiotics, then the drugs such as theophylline, procainamide, etc., they are administered at a constant rate. This constant rate means whenever a drug is administered by one compartment open model IV infusion, it means it is having a constant rate, that is zero order by IV infusion. In contrast to the short duration of infusion of an IV bolus, means in IV bolus only few seconds are required. The duration of constant rate infusion is usually much longer than the half-life of the drug. Now point which has to be remembered over here is that in one compartment open model IV infusion, whenever a drug is administered, it is administered at a constant rate, and the rate is zero order. A point at which the rate of elimination equals the rate of infusion, that is the concentration of drug in plasma approaches a constant value, is called as which point? Options are free state, higher state, steady state, none of the above. And the right answer is option C, that is the steady state. So steady state is a point at which you will have the concentration of drug in plasma approaches a constant value. So whenever at the start of constant rate infusion, so suppose if you are giving an IV infusion, the amount of drug in the body is zero, and hence there is no elimination. Now but as the time passes, the amount of drug in the body will rise gradually. It means elimination rate will be less than that of the rate of infusion, until a point at which the rate of elimination will equal to that of rate of infusion, means the concentration of a drug in plasma will approach a constant value, and this value is called as steady state concentration, we can say, or plateau, or infusion equilibrium. This question is very important, student. So from this you will come to know. So this is the CSS, that is the concentration at steady state. It is also known as plateau, or it is also called as infusion equilibrium. So what happens at this point? Rate of elimination is equal to the rate of infusion. Okay, keep this in your mind. Now coming to next question. It takes dash half-lives for concentration to reach 99% of the steady state. Now the options are 3 half-life, 5 half-life, 6 or 6.6, and the right answer is option D, that is it takes 6.6 half-lives for the concentration to reach 99% of the steady state. So as I told you, it takes 6.6 half-life for the concentration to reach 99% of steady state. Thus shorter the half-life, for example penicillin G, which is having a t-half of 30 minutes, sooner is the steady state penicillin G will be achieving. Now from this table you will come to know that, so if you see this is the half-life. The first half-life, how much percent is remaining? 50%. Okay, so percentage which has been achieved at the steady state, means the concentration of drug which has been achieved at the steady state, it is shown over here. Now when you talk about this 6.6 half-life, now if you say 6.6 means, if you see this table, at 6 half-life the percentage of drug which is still remaining is 1.562, and the percentage which has been achieved at the steady state, it is 96.87. So hence it is said that 6.6 half-lives are required for the concentration to reach 99%. Okay, so if you want to reach to 99% of at the steady state, so it requires near about 6.6 half-life for the concentration to reach 99% of the steady state. Now coming to next question. Which are the methods which are used for estimation of absorption rate constant, which is also called as Ka? Options are method of residuals, Wagner-Nansen method, both, none, and the right answer is option C, that is both. So we can calculate, that is absorption rate constant, which is also denoted by Ka. They are calculated by two methods. First one is method of residual and second one is Wagner-Nansen method. Moving towards next question. Dash technique is also known as feathering, peeling and stripping. Options are method of residual, Wagner-Nansen method, both, none, and the right answer is method of residual. So method of residual is also known by other names such as feathering, peeling and stripping. It is commonly used method in pharmacokinetics to resolve a multi-exponential curves into its individual components. So keep this in your mind, that is method of residual, which is also known by other names such as feathering, peeling and stripping. It is a commonly used to resolve the multi-exponential curves into its individual components. Now one of the best alternative to curve fitting methods in the estimation of Ka is dash method. Options are method of residual, Wagner-Nansen method, both, none, and the right answer is option B, that is Wagner-Nansen method. Now one of the best alternative method to curve fitting method is the estimation of K is with the help of Wagner-Nansen method. Now this method involves the determination of K from percentage of unabsorbed time plots and does not require the assumption of zero order or first order. So this is the method which is used for estimation of Ka, where it does not require assumption of zero or first order absorption, and it involves the determination of Ka from the percentage unabsorbed time plots. Next question. A significant amount of drug must be excreted unchanged in the urine, that is at least dash percent. Options are 5%, 7.5%, 10, 12.5. And the right answer is option C, that is 10. So whenever urinary excretion studies are carried out, there are criteria which we have to follow. So the criteria for obtaining the valid urinary excretion data, in which a significant amount of drug must be excreted unchanged in the urine. So at least 10% of the drug should be excreted unchanged in the urine to have a right estimate of the drug in the urine. And the last question, method used for determination of Ke from urinary excretion data includes rate of extraction method, sigma minus method, both, none of the above. And the right option is option C. So for determination of Ke, that is elimination rate constant from the urinary excretion data, there are two methods which involves firstly rate of excretion method, and second we have the sigma minus method. So the first order elimination as well as excretion rate constant can be computed from the urinary data by two methods, which includes rate of excretion method and second one is sigma minus methods. So with this we have done with the MCQs for the for the compartment modeling. Thank you for listening this video. If you have any doubt, you can write into the comments. I request you to subscribe to my YouTube channel Pharma 15. This is the URL link. Thanks a lot.